Yo, what's going on, everybody? Gabriel Santos here, and today will be the second video of our, stop caring what other people think mini series. And just so you know, I may not post a video for this series every day, but it will be something I come back to constantly because this is an important topic. I saw a good response on the last video, so here we go. And so each of these videos will just be a different angle to approach this topic, right? Like such a common topic. If we could all just have a magic pill to stop caring what other people think, we would take it, right? And so just know off the bat that this is such a normal thing. And if you feel bogged down by the fear of others' judgment, then consider yourself the most human being ever, because that's just what it is. All right, now, in terms of today's video, I'm gonna flip the tables around on you here and go that to stop caring about what other people think, value your opinion over the world's. Meaning, rather than seeking approval on the outside, see within yourself where disapproval exists. Right? Because consider, and in my experience, but consider that whatever you feel the world is judging you for, it's actually judgment that comes within yourself. And one example I can give you of that is, just look at your own life. Say you're at a party, say you're at a family party, and you see someone who is just shining and they are so charismatic and they are on top of their game. And one part of you might really admire that, but another part of you might feel insecure around that and feel less around that. And the mind may think that, oh, is this person judging me because I'm not up to their standards? Is this person judging me because they're up here and I'm down here? Oh no, oh no, now I have to, make up some story about, what my job is up to, and I have to all this. And consider that any judgment you are feeling or think is happening on the outside, regardless if it's happening on the outside, if you're being affected in a negative way, it is likely because there is a sense of judgment within you that's being triggered. Right? Because, for example, let's say you're not a heroin user, right? But someone comes up to you and says, "Stupid heroin junkie." Are you going to be affected? Probably not. And the reason is because you're not a stupid heroin junkie. Yet, if the same person said that to a former heroin junkie who has shame and guilt around their past, that's probably going to trigger them, right? And they're probably going to feel a sense of judgment in general around a person like that. Now, that's a little extreme, right? But the point is that consider that your fear of what other people might think is more so a judgment you have within yourself. Because if you didn't care, for example, take me for example, right? I released my book on Amazon years ago, and a lot of different judgments come up, who's gonna buy this? People judge me because it's about marijuana and all that. But for me and myself, I had accepted that people are gonna respond the way they're gonna respond. And I had the courage to just press submit, knowing that I could receive positive or negative review. And it's kind of like accepting that the world is going to respond how it responds. And not only that, but you know what's so ironic is that you could literally be the fakest fucking person ever in hopes of receiving worldwide approval, yet you'll be fake and people will still hate you. People will still judge you. People will still talk ill will behind your back, right? So it's okay, even if you're fake, even if you try and make the world happy, there are still going to be people that don't mess with you. And so one would think that might as well be yourself and receive whatever hate and love that comes with, because you're going to be fake and you're going to receive love and hate anyways. But the worst part is that you're going to receive love for something that that's not even you. And then you're going to receive hate. Okay, maybe the saving grace is that, well, they don't hate me, they hate the fake me. But then what you also sacrifice is to be able to be loved. You're being loved for the fake you. So the real you never gets hated, but the real you never gets loved. And the real you never gets shown. And I think at the end of the day, there comes a point for most people where the pain of receiving rejection for being you, being your true self, is not where the pain of being fake is more than the pain of being real and hated. Right? Because trust me, man, like people go their entire lives running a false mask, running a mask about who they are to themselves. And it's all because we, as young kids, were likely traumatized and created these strategies to ensure some type of consistency in our lives. For me, example, like I learned early on that I need to be careful about what I do and say and feel, because if I misstep, my dad is gonna freak out, be angry, cold shoulder me, and there goes everything for me, right? Because as a young kid, you're dependent on your parents. And for me, primarily, I'm dependent on them for a sense of love and security. And so I learned that, oh man, if I get angry, if I have an attitude, then he's gonna get mad at me and he's gonna stop talking to me. And that's like the worst feeling ever. And so growing up, I developed this schism meaning like this character trait, this like habit, this like trauma cycle of suppressing anger and thinking I always need to be happy, thinking I always need to be responsible for other people's emotions, thinking I always need to have myself on check, because if I do something that people don't approve of, like they're gonna withhold their love, they're gonna take away their love, and I'll be left alone, empty, and left to die, right? And it's funny because all of this is happening on a subconscious level, yet it is happening. And so the way that I was able to take the reins of that is, honestly, it was a slow chipping away process of risking negative feedback in favor of expressing my truth. Risking negative feedback in favor of expressing my truth. Because it gets to a point where expressing the truth is what feels good, not the response. Right? It's when we care too much about what other people think, we are attached to the result, which is fine. But I feel that most of us are looking to just let go of that heavy burden of just trying to frickin' mold yourself into the perfect human being so that other people will give you what you're looking for. And it is just, that is just way too much for any person to try and like keep up with, because literally it's impossible. It is literally impossible for the entire world to love you. Literally. Like, some of the greatest, most impactful leaders of this earth were the most hated in their time. Jesus Christ, Martin Luther King, JFK. Nah, he was pretty adored, but my point is that you could literally be like a great human being and people will still fucking hate you. So, and they'll still judge you, they'll still talk behind your back. So just, my advice to you is to accept. Like, stop, just do your best to stop resisting the fact that there are gonna be times when people really, they're gonna, I mean, and besides, like, are you really above judging other people too? No. We all have that ability to judge. And so, guess what? Nobody's perfect and other people are gonna judge you. It's part of the deal. Like, literally, you can be super fake, you're gonna be judged. You can be super real, you're gonna be judged. And so instead of hyper focusing on trying to avoid judgment and trying to notice where judgment exists, See if you can accept that you can't control the world at that degree, and that the only thing you really can control is yourself. And you can try your best to control your emotions and your thoughts, your attitudes, your perception, your stories. But in terms of controlling the world, not possible. And it's funny because we think we can, right? Like, oh, if I have my resume all buttoned up, if I jump through all the hoops, the house, the picket fence, the family, the right type of clothes, the money, then I will be relieved of judgment. Yet there are gonna be people that say like, did you, I can judge that like, oh, you followed the normal route, you conformed, right? You can literally be judged for anything. And so instead of worrying about will I be judged, accept like, oh, I'm gonna be judged, but like, who cares? The name of the game of life is not how do I avoid judgment, it's how do I pursue my life powerfully. And so if you're someone who feels hampered by judgment, my encouragement, my request, no, my encouragement to you is to start getting risky, meaning wear that piece of clothing that you like, but you're afraid that people are gonna judge you for. Pursue that career path. Let go of that person in your life and do it because it's what's best for you. So consider a lot about this journey of not caring what others people think is more so about caring about what you think. Right? Because if you genuinely love wearing a white shirt and basketball shorts, like that literally makes you happy, but you don't wear that outfit because it's not presentable. Fair enough, but you're allowed to be happy. You're allowed to express yourself. You're allowed to be weird if you want to call it that. It's not even weird, it's just who you are. And consider that it will feel so good just to be yourself that you're okay being judged, because it's like, judge me like I am who I am. Take it or leave it. Like, what am I going to do? Like, beg you to stay? Like, no. And trust, this comes from straight experience, that those who love you for who you are will make time for you and will make you a part of their life. So it's almost like, stop even tripping, like be yourself, and like literally things will fall into place. Now I know it's easier said than done. And so I guess the real name of the game is like, be willing to be risky and accept that like there are going to be moments where people are going to give you poo poo energy. But when you can slowly build strength and confidence in just who you are, and just accept that you're allowed to be yourself, and you're accept who you are, accept how you like to be, accept how you like to talk, just accept yourself. Again, easier said than done. What'll happen is your whole priority will be making sure that you're good. And it'll be more painful to abandon your truth in favor of approval. It'll feel worse to do that than to just say, I'm accepting that I want to wear this jersey, and that's it. And I accept whatever criticisms and appreciation that comes with it, you know? And it is what it is. Like, it gets to a point where I'd rather be myself and hated than have to be fake and loved. Because you get the love, but you're with yourself 100% of the time. And so you're going to know on a subconscious level if you're backing yourself up in life or not. Regardless if you get approval from the outside world, if the approval isn't within, you're always going to be fucked. So maybe it's not so much about how do I stop caring what other people think, and more so about how do I start honoring myself? How do I start being connected with my true needs and desires? How do I start expressing my truth? And so, just some things to consider. I know these videos get pretty long, but I appreciate everyone that watches, and just know that whatever you watch, for however long you watch, it's meant for you. And I hope this video served you well. All right, so we'll be posting another video for this series sometime soon. Can't say it's tomorrow necessarily, but sometime soon. Either way, I appreciate you so much. Hopefully this video served you well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.